Yeah, so like I said, we're going to use the stability ball, and we're going to do basically the stability ball for us is acting like we just talked about a chair, right? So chair yoga. Um, when we are practicing ourselves, maybe later in life, and we've got maybe some injuries or stiffness in our knees, ankles, feet, hips, shoulder, whatever it is, maybe this could be an alternative for our own practice. Or as a future teacher, maybe you want to teach a class, and there are some folks that have immobilities, as I just mentioned, and they're not able to stand up for a long time. Perhaps their knees hurt, what have you. So let's just explore, doing about 45 minutes on a ball or a seat, chair, and what that might look like. So if you are going to use a stability ball or a chair, as I mentioned before, you want to make sure that the ball itself, that the chair itself, when you sit on it, your hips are about the same level as your knees. You don't want to be too far down because that's just going to make some of the poses feel awkward, and you're not going to feel good in the poses, right? So try to make sure again that the hips are about as tall as the knees. My ball is not the size that is appropriate, right? So I just want to point that out, right? We want to make sure that the knees are at least in line with our hips. Okay, so just like we begin any of our yoga classes, we do it with a centering, and you can do a centering on a stability ball or in a chair, right? So just like a seat for a seated meditation, let's just close our eyes and be aware of the five senses, right? So what does it feel like to sit here? What sounds do we hear in our environment? Are there any smells that we can observe or tastes within the mouth? And of course, if your eyes are closed, there still might be some light that's coming in or some sort of color within the eyes themselves. Or if you have a slight opening of your eyes, you're looking down the bridge of your nose, just reflecting on those images as they come in. All right, so centering in the present moment all of our five senses, then start to turn it inwards. What is the present moment of our emotions and our mind, the mind? So, what type of thoughts are coming up? What sort of feelings are in this moment? And the question is, can we step back from the five senses? Can we step back from the mind and just be a witness to it all without overly identifying? All right, good. And so you can start the class with some sighs. Sighing is a very nice way to decompress the nervous system. So what we're going to do is we're going to inhale and bring our shoulders up to our ears. Big breath in, and then you're going to exhale and go, just let those shoulders come down. So inhale up and go, good. Let's do a couple more. Inhale, shoulders up, and exhale. One more time. Inhale and exhale. All right, so in our seat, let's move our head and our neck. So slowly bring the chin to the chest. As you inhale, rock the left ear over to the left shoulder. Exhale, bring the chin back down to the center of the chest. Inhale over to the right side or left side, doesn't matter which way you go. Just both sides, inhaling and exhaling, ear to shoulder. All right, let's do one more on each side. Let that neck relax and open up. Good. And after that last one, bring our chin to our chest. All right, now let's look forwards, and you can do a seated cat-cow just like we would do on the floor or on our hands and knees. And so just put your hands right onto the knees. We're going to inhale, roll the shoulders back, sort of lift the chest and look up. Inhale, and as you exhale, round the spine, slouch a little bit. So inhale, opening the chest, rolling those shoulders back and looking up. Exhaling, rounding the spine, chin down. Inhale and exhale. Good. Slow breath in and slow breath out. Good. Do a few more. Big inhale and exhale. One last time. Big breath in and big breath out. Good. Sit up nice and tall here. All right, we're going to go do a little side to side, a little lateral extension. So this is going to challenge our core a little bit since we're on an unstable sort of seat. Might feel different if you're actually seated into a chair. We're going to lean over and place our elbow on our thigh here for support. Or if you wanted to, you could let your arm be down to the side. Let me show you what it looks like on my left side. So arm to the side or arm on your thigh. But just inhale, reach your right arm up, and as we exhale, reach over to that left side. So again, depending on where you are seated, we're on a ball, so we're going to use our elbow on our thigh for support. If you're in a chair, maybe you'd use your left hand to hold the side of the chair, leg of the chair, seat of the chair, right? But we're just reaching over. Okay, so switch sides. Inhale, come on up. We're going to exhale and go over to the right. Good, so use your breath, follow it as you inhale. We're going to exhale each side. Inhale and come up. Exhale to the side. So reaching up and over the body. Inhale and exhale. Good, very nice. Right, we want to feel alive. We want to breathe that energy into those stiff spaces. Good. One more time on each side. So I'm going to go to my right. That's the side I started on. So I'm going to finish with my left arm reaching over. Exhale. Good. Now as you come on back on up, we can do seated twists here. Another nice way to warm up the spine. So take your right hand, bring it over to your left knee, and then use your left hand behind you. So you can use it on the back of the ball, or you would use it on the back of the chair. So sit up nice and tall, and as you exhale, just a gentle twist, looking back behind you. Good. Let's slowly come back forwards. Use an inhale to come back to the front. We're going to switch sides. So left hand now onto the right knee. Right hand behind you or onto that seat, the back of the seat. Inhale, sit up tall. And as you exhale, turn to the right. All right, breathe. Make sure that as you breathe, you feel the spine elongate. So lifting up through the crown of the head. Exhale, maybe there's a deepening in your twist. All right, slowly use an inhale to come back forwards. All right, and just to show us, we can do a forward fold in our seat here. So just make your way to the edge of the seat. Separate your knees so that they're a little bit wider than maybe your torso. And all we're going to do is let ourselves fold in between our legs. So again, we're a little lower than a traditional seat might be because our hips are lower than our knees. So maybe we feel a little squished here, but just let yourself fall forward. You can grab your elbows, shake the head yes and no, shrug the shoulders. Good. Cross your arms the opposite way if you're holding your elbows. Good. One more inhale and exhale. Let those hands come back down to the floor perhaps. Walk your hands up the legs, help yourself back up into a seat. All right, good. So some other things that we can do seated to help warm up the body before we get into maybe holding some poses. We can do some footwork here, right? So we can take our foot out in front of us, we can circle an ankle, right? Circle one way and then the other way. Right, we can practice some extensions from the knee, so just taking our leg and sending it out in front of us. Right, so if we've got some atrophy in our muscles, we're trying to build back some strength. Right, just this simple extension right here, working out our quadriceps. If you had some of those sand weights for your ankles, that could be fun here, right? Because you're going to be adding some weight. So switch sides, go ahead and circle your other ankle. Make sure that you go both directions with your circles. Good, and then we can try extending our legs, so just a nice extension with that left quadricep. And again, if you're on a ball, you're going to be a little unstable, so this is mildly working your core. If you're in a seat, right, you might not feel that so much. You can always use your hands on the sides of the seat for stability, if you need that. Good, awesome. All right, come back into your seat. And now let's go ahead and move into some standing poses using your seat. So go ahead and come off of your chair or off of your ball. All right, and we're going to bring the ball out in front of us. Now, if you had a chair, right, that chair would have a back to it perhaps. And so you could use the back of the chair in the same way that I'm going to use the ball, but the ball is going to be lower than what would be for a chair. And we're going to practice using the ball for a downward facing dog. And I'll show you a variation also against the wall. So pretend again here that this is our chair, and so since we have a stability ball, we're just going to put our hands on top of the ball. And all we're going to do is just slide that ball forward, roll it forward so we come into almost like a downward facing dog feeling, right? So we've got our fingers spread wide, we're pushing our palms down, we've got our hips lifted towards the sky, and we're going to let those ears come in between the arms. Right, so this is almost like a downward facing dog, but using our stability ball. Now again, if you had a chair, your hands would just be up higher, so maybe you would walk farther back to make sure that you got that nice flexion here in the hips and that elongating feeling in the back of the legs. So our hands might be up higher. Now to do this against the wall, same principle. You would face a wall and just walk your hands down the wall. Walk your feet away from the wall as you come into that down dog position, right? We want our feet to be flat. We want our tailbone to be lifting up towards the sky. And we should feel a nice extension here through the underarm. So a nice shoulder extension, latissimus dorsi stretch, as well as a stretch through our hamstrings. Downward facing dog. So you could do some stuff here, like if you wanted to, like we do in our down dog. Take your right hand, reach and try to touch your left hip, and just slide your hand down the leg, looking underneath your left shoulder. So we're getting a little twist here. This is something, again, that can be done in downward facing dog. So just to show you, right, from down dog, right hand comes to hip, and we reach down. And again, we're just using the stability ball as a prop. So if you reach right hand to left hip, let's switch. Left hand to right hip, slide the hand down the leg, twist underneath the shoulder. Good. All right, come back, put your hand on the ball. Now, since we're using a stability ball, this gives us an advantage rather than using a chair. We're going to try doing what's called bird dog. It's a back extension exercise, and we can do that on the stability ball. We're going to lower to our knees, and we're going to place the stability ball right underneath our abdomen, and just roll over the ball so that you're almost in a tabletop. So our abdomen is resting on the ball, hands and knees are on the mat. Now this is something that only a stability ball feels best with. This would feel kind of uncomfortable if you were over a chair like this, right? So this is something that should only be used with the stability ball. All right, so what we're going to do is just like our tabletop bird dog, we're going to use the stability ball to support our abdomen as we work on strengthening our back with alternating leg and arm extensions we call bird dog. So reach your right arm forward and your left leg back, and then bring it down and switch. Left arm, right leg. All right, so switching just like this, going back and forth is going to strengthen those posterior muscles, right in our glutes, our lower back, hamstring as well. Also going to be working in our shoulder, the deltoids, the trapezius, the rhomboids. And you can even hold each version, right? So if you want to take the right arm forward, left leg back, and just hold it here. And then switch. Hold it for a couple breaths. Right, so if we had some injury to our abdominal muscles, we're building the abdominal strength, maybe this is a nice alternative to support the body when we don't have that strong core. All right, so while we're here, might as well continue. There's some other fun stuff that we can do for our upper body, and that's just an upper body back extension. So keeping your toes tucked and your knees on the floor, take your fingertips onto the mat, and as you inhale, just lift the palms up as high as you can from the floor. Elbows are in a cactus position. So you inhale, come up, and you exhale, go down. So this is going to be working our upper back. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, going down. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, going down. Good, let's do a couple more. Inhale. And exhale, one last time. Big breath in. Good, exhale and bring it down. Good. Go ahead and move back so that you can come off of the stability ball. Right, again, just some other things that we can do with a stability ball specifically. But now we're going to pretend that this is also a chair. So if you only have a chair, you can move into some of these poses. And we're going to try Warrior One, all right? So let's come up to stand. Now, just as a reminder, Warrior One is a lunge, and it's a lunge that faces forwards. Whereas Warrior Two, also a lunge, but we face sideways. So we're going to basically want to position our supporting chair or stability ball underneath the hip of the knee that is bent in the front. All right, so Warrior One, if I have my right foot forwards and my back left foot down, I'm going to try to put that ball or chair right underneath my right hip. Now you may want to just do this seated, right? So what you would do is start seated on the edge of your chair or the edge of your ball. So let's imagine, right? We are seated on the edge of our chair here. We're going to move that chair to the right hip, keeping my right knee bent. I'm just taking my left leg and bringing it back behind me. Now, if it doesn't feel good all the way back behind you, you can still bring it out to the side a little bit. So you see I'm off the side of the mat. I'm going to keep my hips and chest facing forward to the front right foot to keep it that traditional Warrior One posture. All right, so once you feel relatively comfortable sitting on the edge of your ball or chair, look towards this right knee, and then inhale, bring your arms up. All right, so again, if we've got some shoulder stuff going on, maybe we don't want to go all the way up with the arms. We can have our hands at the center of the chest. We can even take the arms out to the sides like a cactus. We want to strengthen the back. Good, so warrior one, using the stability ball or a chair. So remember, the key here is the chair supports us, right? So, or the stability ball supports us. We want it to be under the body weight. And this is the most appropriate spot here, is underneath this right hip. All right, we're going to go ahead and switch sides. So take one more inhale, whichever version you've chosen. And as you exhale, bring your arms down if they're up, and then we'll switch to the other hip. Okay, so I'm just going to reposition myself so that the ball is now on this left glute, the left hip. I'm going to keep my left knee facing the front. I'm going to find a comfortable position to extend my right leg back behind me or out to the side. And again, we just want to feel comfortable, right? Because asana is a comfortable and steady posture. All right, so finding the leg out to the side, keeping the front knee bent, looking forwards. Let's inhale, bring those arms up, or out to the sides, or at the center of the chest, whichever version you've chosen for yourself. But let's breathe here. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Inhale. And exhale. A couple more breaths in. And out. Good. Two more. Inhale. Exhale. Perfect. Last breath in. As we exhale, we can slowly bring those hands down. Good. And then reposition ourselves on our ball. All right. If you're going to be using the chair or the stability ball in a yoga class, typically the class will go a little bit slower than a fast vinyasa class, right? Because we need to move our props so that we can get into the position. So since it's a slow-moving class, we want to practice as much mindfulness or meditative focus as possible. So once we come out of a pose, take a second to sit or stand and just be with your body, be with your breath, and cultivate that present mind. Okay, so while we are here, let's try another pose, a seated pose. And this is going to be a modification of our pigeon pose, right? So pigeon pose can be done seated in a chair by just crossing your ankle over your knee and then folding forward from that. Okay, so what we're going to do is keep this left foot flat. We're going to bring our right ankle up to our left knee. Now this will be hard on the stability ball because we need some stuff to touch the ground, right? But try your best. This is going to be harder on the ball than it will a chair. Okay? So what we're going to do is keep our foot flexed. Try to keep this right knee down. Sit up tall, take an inhale, and just like you were going to tie your left shoes, lean forward, and we're going to fold over this leg. So now we can put our hands down perhaps and create that additional stability. And so like I said, if you're in a chair, you're not going to move around like this. So it's going to be harder on the ball. Now also, I told you down dog on the wall, you could also be near a wall if you had a stability ball, right? You scoot the wall right against the baseboard and it should sort of hug the wall so you're a little bit more stable. But breathe here. This is great for that glute medius and the piriformis, those external hip rotators. All right, let's slowly come back on up and we're going to switch sides, right? Always balancing out our body. So feel secure. Again, the ball is a lot more challenging than a chair, so find stability first. Right? Ahimsa, the first of our yamas, harmlessness, so don't harm yourself. All right, once you feel good and secure, Take a big inhale, and then as we exhale, again, maybe pretending that we're tying our shoelaces and bringing our hands down towards that right foot. All right, and again, our level of mobility is going to dictate how far, right, we can get into a yoga pose. So that's not to say that this is the correct way to be in this posture. If you've got some tight hips, you really can't touch the toes, that's fine. Perhaps we're just leaning forwards, using our elbow to push the knee down, and we're breathing into that space. All right, so no matter which version you've chosen, a high version or a low version, let's all slowly come back on up. Good, and we'll take our foot on down. Just have a moment to sit, just reflect, how do we feel now in our bodies? Again, the ultimate goal of the yoga practice is to come into the deepest understanding of our essence of being. And so sitting and observing how we feel in this moment is a way to connect a little deeper, right, with ourselves. All right, go ahead and slowly come off of the stability ball or your chair. And we're going to use the ball now for Warrior 2. So before we started the video, we demonstrated our Warrior 2. And I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate that now as well. Okay, so again, we're imagining that the stability ball is a chair. And just like in our lunge in Warrior 1, we want to sit at the edge of this. Okay, so what we're going to do is take our chair towards the top of the mat, put it underneath your right hip here, and keep your right leg forwards. Now, if you remember, the difference between Warrior 1 and Warrior 2 is the way our hips and chest are open to either the front of the mat or the side of the mat. Warrior 1 faces the front, Warrior 2 faces the side. So we're going to take our left leg to the back as much as we can to the back of the mat. Now, if it doesn't go all the way to the back, that's fine. You see I'm scooting the ball farther to the edge of my hip so I can get that foot, that leg, towards the back of the mat. If it doesn't work that way, that's okay. Let this leg come out a little bit more to your side, but we're turning our chest and our hips to face this side to make Warrior 2. All right, I'm going to get to what feels good for me. All right, so front knee is bent towards the front of the mat. We have the knee over our ankle. You can see the knee is pointing over the center of the foot. Our shoulders are evenly placed above our hips here. We're not leaning forwards, back, side, or side. And then we're pushing down to that back edge of the foot as much as we can. And then from here, we just inhale, bring the arms up. Look over your right arm. And boom, we've made our way to Warrior 2. So we could stay here. We could take a couple of breaths in this pose, make it a Hatha pose, or we can flow here. This is going to give us an opportunity to flow into two other poses that have this same placement of our feet. And those two other poses are going to be side angle pose and our reverse warrior. Okay, so we're going to flow in and out of Warrior 2. All right, so take an inhale into your Warrior 2. As you exhale, put the right elbow down onto the knee and reach the left arm over the ear. We're going to try to turn open towards the ceiling. Good, as we inhale, come back into Warrior 2, and now reverse warrior. Exhale, reach back. Good, inhale, Warrior 2. Exhale, side angle pose. Inhale to Warrior 2. Exhale, side angle pose. Reverse warrior. I'm getting myself backwards. Inhale, Warrior 2. Exhale, side angle pose. Good. Inhale, Warrior 2. Exhale, reverse warrior. Good. Come back into your Warrior 2. And then if you wanted to, right, you could just push right off of that hip and come into the full pose. So if we're trying to build some strength here, that might be something we want to try doing, right? Is using the chair to help us and then pushing into the legs, coming off the edge of the chair or the ball to build that strength in our legs. Good, let's switch sides. Relax your arms. And if you need to reposition your chair or your ball, please do, right? So that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna move over to my left hip. So I'm gonna put that ball right under this left hip, keep my left foot facing the front, swing the right leg back, turn the chest and the hips to face this right side of the mat. Remember, knee is over the ankle, knee is facing the center of the foot, those two middle toes. My back foot is driving into the mat. Inhale, reach the arms up, warrior two. Spread the fingers wide, reach through the fingers, the shoulders relax. And so try your flow here. So exhale, bring that left arm down, reach the right arm over the ear, side angle pose. Inhale to warrior two. Exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale to warrior two. Exhale, side angle pose. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, reverse. Or side angle pose, jeez. Keep getting myself backwards today. It's all right. Okay, let's do one more flow. Side angle pose, warrior two, reverse warrior, and then finish on warrior two. So we're going to inhale back to warrior two. Exhale into our reverse warrior. Inhale to warrior two. And then exhale, relax the arms down. Good. You can move your right leg back to the front or move your chair, but let's just have a seat for a second. Just notice how you feel. Breathe. Very nice. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and just do some standing poses now. Just some balance poses, right? So, just for reference, right, the stability ball, going to be a little bit harder to use this to help with our balance poses. So if we had that traditional chair, right, we would put our hands on the back of the chair to help us with our balance poses. All right, so for all purposes, right, I'm just going to pretend that I have a chair in front of me to show you. All right, so we would put our hands on the back of the chair, getting ready for some balance poses. We're going to try Vrkrasana, our tree pose. So our hands would be on the chair. We would turn our foot out to the side, right, and bring that foot up as high as we could. So remember, you're just pretending that you have the back of the chair. And then as you are getting more comfortable with your balance, right, you can take one hand away, maybe to the center of the chest or reaching up like a tree limb. Or maybe here we would take both hands away, right? And we have that chair right there, so we can always bring our hand down to touch and regain our stability. Rather than falling out of the pose and putting this leg down, use your hands, find that stability while you still cultivate that strength, that balance in your left foot. Okay, so again, I'm just pretending that I've got a chair here. I'm not a zombie tree. Just got a chair there. Good. So go ahead and bring it down. Let's switch sides just to, again, balance both of our sides out. And actually, I have an idea. Let me step over here and actually get a chair from outside. All right, so yep, I forgot we had lawn chairs out there, so this is a nice reference for maybe the back, the height of the back of a chair. So again, we're going to be just using our fingertips. You're just touching the chair. We're doing tree pose on the opposite side now, right? So we're going to turn our left foot out, bring our foot up Yeah, perfect. So again, right, just so nice to be able to just lightly touch our fingers to the back of the chair. It just gives us that additional support and stability as we cultivate the strength in that ankle. So maybe we have one side that feels better than the other. And so we would use the chair to help build that strength in our weaker side. And then maybe that stronger side, we don't use the chair at all. Good. So no matter how many hands you have on the chair, right, let's just enjoy the pose. Even if you don't have any hands, you're doing a traditional tree pose. Just breathe nice and slow. Now what's really fun too is because we're using a chair, we can do some fun stuff with our balance poses that maybe we wouldn't be able to do if we didn't have a support, and that's closing our eyes in a balance pose, right? So keep your fingertips lightly touching the back of the chair, and then try closing your eyes and see how that really changes your balance, right? So if your eyes are closed, both hands are touching the chair, maybe we can take one hand away. Remember, find that stability. And then we can try taking our other hand away, perhaps. And then come back to the chair if you need it. Good. Go ahead and shake it out. Okay, so since I have a chair here, and now we can really show some of the poses. You may notice that this chair has arms, right? So if you are using a chair at home, you want to make sure that it is a chair that does not have arms, so that when you sit on the edge, your legs can come off to the side. So just a little disclaimer about the type of chair that you want to use. All right, now we're going to try using our chair for a couple other balance poses. We're going to try Warrior 3, all right? So take the chair and just bring it to the top of your yoga mat. All right, and we're going to step back here so that if we reached our arms out, they would not touch where the chair is. We want to be a little farther away because we're going to lean forward and touch the chair. All right, so maybe 2/3 back from the top of your mat. We're going to bring our feet together. Okay, we're going to bring our arms up as we inhale. Now as you exhale, lean forwards, but take your right leg behind you. Keep it straight. Let me just get this out of the way so you can see, right? I've got my right leg behind me, and I'm using my hands to support on the chair. I'm doing Warrior 3. Yeah, just like that, right? So use your arms to help get that right position. Don't let your hip be open to the right. Close the hips to the floor. Look down. See if you can take one arm away, and then maybe the other arm, and then you're doing the traditional Warrior 3. Right? If you ever need to come out of the pose, right, come out safely. Put your hands on the back of the chair, bring that leg down, step away, shake it out. So let's take that Warrior 3, let's do it for a few breaths. I'm a little bit too close to the wall behind me, so I'm just going to move forwards. And it's okay to make adjustments in your yoga class. As a student, as a teacher, right? Good, let's try the other side now, okay? So stepping away from the chair, making sure that we can't reach and touch. We'd be too close if we could reach and touch. So inhale, bring those arms up. We're going to exhale, send that left leg back as we reach our hands forwards. Try our Warrior 3 here. Good, so we're going to look down, we're going to keep that left leg nice and strong. See, I've got the foot flexed, pointing the toes down towards the floor. Reaching those hands forwards, pull your core in. Nice, strong core. All right, so to come out of the pose, right, we would try to lift up without falling over, or you could just bring your left foot down and then walk to the chair. Right? That's another option. So let's imagine that we don't have the stability just to be back and reach forwards. Right? Another option here is to come right to the back of the chair, have your fingers touch. We're going to walk back into a downward facing dog position so that our legs are vertical and our torso is horizontal. Place your left foot into the middle of the mat and then just extend your right leg back behind you. That's warrior 3. We just got into it a different way, right? So then you would lower your right foot and then you would switch left foot. And of course, while you're here, just trying to take the arms off of the chair, lightly lifting your fingertips off the back, or bringing the arms out to the sides, or the hands to the center of the chest, or alongside the body. And many different ways to practice the pose. Perfect. Slowly bring the fingertips back down, lower your foot, walk forwards. Awesome, there we go, shake it out. Okay, cool. So there are many other poses, right, that we can use with our chair. We're going to go over one more pose, and that's going to be our triangle, or excuse me, I'm going to do 2 more poses. Triangle pose, and then pyramid pose. All right, let me just fix this chair. Okay, so with triangle pose, we want to have the chair at the top of the yoga mat. We're going to turn to the side here and take our feet and do basically a wide stance with our legs. All right, we're going to turn our top foot towards the chair. You're going to reach your arms up like we're going to do warrior 2. And all you have to do is just shift your hips back, bring that right hand to the top of the chair, and lift your left arm up into the sky. That's it. All right, so we are doing triangle pose, using our right hand to support the body, the upper body, the weight of the upper body as we're in the posture. So rotate the hips open towards the sky, keep that left arm reaching up or reaching back, opening the chest. And we can take this and move right into pyramid pose for this right leg that we have in front of us. So what we'll do is we're going to take our left hand to the top of the chair and then take our back left foot, turn it to the front, and just fold over the chair. All right, so there we go. We're in pyramid pose, stretching the back of that right hamstring. And so remember, the chair is just merely there for support. So if we've got knee injury, hamstring injury, lower back injury, ankle injury, and it's just very hard to put weight here while we're trying to stretch, this is a great way for us to slowly ease into it as we observe whatever effect is happening here in the leg, the ankle, the quad, the knee, the back of the knee, the calf muscle, the lower back, whatever it might be. All right, so let's switch sides. Bend that front knee, step forwards. Keep your left foot at the top. We're going to turn now to the right. Step your right foot back. So wide leg sort of position. Arms reach up as you inhale. Exhale, shift the hips back as your left hand comes to the chair. And just reach that right arm up. Good, just breathe. Slow inhale and exhale. All right, and like I said, we can just transition right into pyramid pose. So bring that right hand to the top of the chair, turn the right foot to face the front, and then we will fold over that right leg. Good. Take another big inhale and exhale, gently bend that left knee, lift the torso slightly, and we can step forwards and just shake it out. Awesome, good. Now let's go ahead and take our chair back into the middle of the mat. All right, so again, our use of the chair or the stability ball is for accessibility, right? It's a tool that we use, to find depth in our body, to explore our body in ways that maybe we wouldn't have been able to if we just had a yoga mat. So that being said, if we're teaching a yoga class where we're incorporating a chair or we're incorporating a stability ball, maybe we can't lay on the ground. We wouldn't be able to finish the class in that traditional way. So we would finish the class just like we started, right? In a seat, doing some neck rolls, some shoulder rolls, twists, and then a final centering and seated meditation. So let's go through some of that now, right? So we're going to be in our chair. All right, go ahead and make sure that both feet are just generally placed onto the ground. We're going to finish the way we started with some neck rolls, some cat-cow, side stretches, and twists. All right, so just sitting up nice and tall, take a big inhale, look up with your chin. And as you exhale, bring the chin to the chest. Let's do a full circle with our head. Inhale, bring our head back. Exhale to the other side. Good, do 2 more circles in that direction. Nice big inhale. Exhale 1 more time, big breath in. And out, switch directions. Inhale, right ear, right shoulder, tilt the head back. Over to the left and down. Do 2 more circles like that. Inhale. And exhale 1 more time. Big breath in. And out. All right, good. Now, actually, I was just thinking we can do another seated pose that is almost like a balance pose. That's our Garudasana. I totally forgot. This is great. We can do eagle pose in our chair. So, right, we're going to just have a seat. Make sure that you feel comfortable. This is a lounge chair for outside, so it's not as tall, again, as it's needed to be. But we're going to cross our right knee over the left. And ideally, again, those hips are going to be about the same height of the knee. And if you can wrap it all the way around, maybe wrap it all the way around, you can see. All right, we're going to do eagle pose, Garudasana. So inhale, reach the arms out to the sides. As you exhale, cross the right arm under the left. Grab the elbows or the shoulders. If you can, continue wrapping the arms. Good, so what we want to do here is, since we're wrapped and seated, we don't have to worry about balancing, right? We can focus on what's happening in our shoulders and our hips. So try to pull the elbows apart. Right, what I mean by that is try to pull them apart like this. Same thing with the knees. Try to pull the knees apart, and you're going to feel that stretch in your hips and your shoulders when you do that. Good. Take another couple of breaths. Inhale and exhale. As you exhale, relax the arms. Good. You can slowly help the knees uncross. Maybe take a second and just notice the difference between the left and the right side. And then after that moment of breathing, switch sides. So now we're going to do left over the right. Each side is going to be a little different. Maybe you're not as limber on this side. I certainly am not, for whatever reason. Showing those discrepancies here in my body. All right, good. So sitting up nice and tall, let's inhale the arms out to the sides. Now we cross left under the right. And again, we can just hug the elbows or we can continue wrapping the arms. But we're going to keep our upper arm and our thighs should be parallel to the floor. And then we're going to try pulling elbows and knees apart from one another. Got to feel that stretch behind the shoulder blades. Breathe. Got one more big inhale as you exhale. Relax the arms. And we can uncross our legs. Awesome, good. That's really fun. So now let's come into those other poses that we warmed up with and now we're going to close with. So we're going to do a seated cat-cow and then a side-to-side and then a twist, right? So hands on the knees, try to keep the feet relatively flat. We're going to inhale into a seated cow back. Exhale into our cat back. Inhale into our seated cow back. Exhale into cat. Gonna do one more. Inhale into cow. Exhale into cat. Inhale, sit up tall. And now we're going to do our side to side stretch, okay? So right elbow can stay on the knee or right hand can come down to hold the leg of a chair or the seat. Inhale your left arm up, and as you exhale, reach over to that right side. Good. Inhale, come back on up, and as we exhale, switch. Right arm over, reaching to that left side. Good. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, going to the side. Inhale and coming up. Exhale and going to the side. Good, let's do one more on each side. Inhale up. Exhale over to our right. Good, last time, inhaling up. And exhaling to our left. Good, inhale, slowly come back on up. We're going to do our seated twist now. So left hand, bring it over to your right knee. Have your right hand come behind, grab the back of the chair or the seat of the chair, but you're sitting up tall. Inhale, and as you exhale, just a gentle twist over that right shoulder. And I would say that if you are grabbing the chair, just grab as low as you can with that right hand. So maybe grab the leg of the chair. Good, use an inhale to slowly come back around and then switch sides. So right hand onto the left knee, left hand behind, right again. Ideally your chair is not going to have handles, but sit up nice and tall, big inhale, and as we exhale, twist to our left. All right, take another round of inhales and exhales. Bring yourself back to the front as you inhale. And we're going to finish the class by doing a yoga mudra. So again, a mudra is basically a position with your hands typically. So what we're going to do is clasp our hands behind our backs and fold forwards in our seat. So you may need to sit at the edge of the chair just to get those arms away from the back of the seat. And as you inhale, sit up nice and tall. Try to straighten your arms. As you exhale, bring your belly in between the thighs. Just reach those arms up overhead. And just breathe here. Slow inhale and slow exhale. Couple more breaths in and out. Good. Last inhale. As you exhale, slowly bring the arms back down. You can use your hands on your thighs if you need to. Just push yourself away from the floor. Good. And then have a seat. So we're in our seat, obviously, but what I mean is feel comfortable. So you can scoot back if you need to, or sit a little bit more upright. And we're going to finish with just a meditation. Since we can't get down onto the ground for Savasana, we do the same thing sort of as a seated practice. So just allow your arms to relax, maybe palms facing up towards the sky. Close your eyes. And just be aware of the tip of your nose, right? The entry and exit of the inhale and exhale, and feel what's going on there. All right, so again, maybe as you come into your seat, you could do that preliminary practice of collecting your 5 senses. Right? What does the body feel like? Your tactile touch sense, smell, taste, hearing, and of course what we maybe pick up in our eyes. And then going into the 6th sense, right? Our inner sense, the mind, the emotions. And then coming to our object of concentration, the breath, the nose, a mantra, an affirmation, whatever it is. Turn your attention to that point of focus and start to withdraw the senses, pratyahara. Getting into our dharana and dhyana, concentration, meditation. And merging our awareness with that point of concentration, coming into samadhi. Alright, let's finish with a nice big inhale and exhale. So be aware of your nose, take an inhale, take an exhale, and now we'll finish with a big sigh together. So big breath in, biggest inhale that you can get in. Just open your mouth and go, ah. Chin to your chest. Good, shrug the shoulders, shake your head and your neck, slowly open your eyes. Good. And we will call that an example chair stability ball yoga class.